What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Guys, we are talking the Penguin, baby, Penguin, episode 3, titled Bliss. Guys, I want to let you know that this is going to be spoiler filled, okay? Me and my guests are going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out, as if you've already seen it. That is your warning. Lamont, how you doing, man? Thank you for being here. How you doing?
Anytime I get to do a collab with you, man, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day.
That's what's up, man. I love to hear it. I love to hear it, man. That's what's up, man. Thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love what we have to say, you can follow us on social media. Our handle's on the screen. Lamont info is in the description box of this video. And like always, give this man a subscription. He would really appreciate that. Link to that is in the description too, and we will get more to that at the end of this spoiler-filled recap for episode 3. This was another banger, Lamont. I really did like it, and especially at the very beginning, how it goes back in time to the events that happened in the Batman that came out in 2022 when the Riddler blew up those bombs. And man, we got to see Vic's family, his mother, his father, where he comes from. Also in this episode, we got to see how he felt about his father towards the end with that dialogue with the Penguin. But my goodness, bro, they on the roof, he kicking it with this boot thing, and all of a sudden these explosions are going off, and he sees his family just disappear in front of him like that, man. I know that you still haven't seen the That Man movie, so this had to be completely fresh to you, man. What was your thoughts on the whole opening of this episode, and also just how you felt about the episode in general? How you feeling?
Phenomenal. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, they're making me want to go back and watch the Batman because of the way they're tying in little nuggets of what happened that has led up to what's going on in Gotham. And in particular, where Vic was at in Crown Point, where they're all the poor, well, I don't want to say they're poor, but they're not the rich, because they was on the roof talking about the rich people was across the water or whatever.
Yeah.
When that scene hit, it just made you fall more in love with Vic's character. It really humanized him. You saw his humble beginnings. You saw that him and his sister, who had on a voting sticker, wanted more for the family. They wanted dad to get his worth. Mm-hmm. And Vic at the time wasn't at a place just yet where he felt like to achieve his worth, he had to do crime. He was going there, but wasn't there. But then when you bring together something that destroys your family, something that separates you from your girlfriend, it can make the most straight arrow start to being like a crooked letter S. And that's what we saw with Vic. And overall for this episode, B. Avery, it gets a 10. It gets a 10 for me. It gets a 10.
That's what's up. I'm not mad at you for that. I don't know if I want to go as far as saying a 10 just right now, but I'm not mad at you for saying that at all, because I really can't think of anything that I didn't like about the episode. Mind you, there was really no action scenes in this either. Not that I have to have that, but it just wasn't, except towards the end of this. Go ahead.
So for me, B. Avery, that's why I'm giving it a 10, because, I tend to be an action junkie. And for me to give this a 10, I'm saying that the dialogue, the exposition, the story itself is so good, it's so intense, it's so gripping that you don't have to have a lot of action for this thing to move along in the way it does.
Yeah. And I agree. I was going to also say in the last 2 recaps, I said that there was always a dull moment at some point or in the middle of the episode, but then it just ended so strong. I don't feel that way at all for episode 3. I really don't. I thought we explored a lot. I did not know what Vic was going to do, whether he was going to side with the Penguin and stay with him or go with his boo thing, Graciela, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. If I'm not, my bad. Please forgive me. But man, he didn't know what to do. At the time, he had $1,000 in his pocket. And he could have, just said, hey, Penguin, I'm out, or just left without saying anything. And another thing is, like, you made a comment just a while ago saying that, he was leaning towards crime. His father wouldn't want to do that. I know you know this, but he was put in this situation with obligation through obligation. But yeah, like I was saying, man, I did not know which way he was going to go, whether he was going to go with his girl or stay with the penguin. But when I was watching this, I wanted to ask you, do you feel that he was being paid enough? Penguin said, hey, man, we're going to start you off with $1,000 a week. You know, and he was like, I want $2,000. He was like, see, that's what I'm talking about, Vic. I like that about you, but no. Do you feel like he was being paid enough, or too much, too little, the perfect amount? I'm just kind of curious.
Man, hell no. $1,000? Where they do that at when you in the type of crime game that Penguin is in? No.
Okay.
I don't care if he's getting free housing. I don't care if he get to drive a Maserati. $1,000, man, you got to turn that to 5 G's a week, bro. No.
Really?
No,
Okay.
No, because think about it.
I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's say you don't know, okay? What is the price for you to have to sleep every night with one eye open and a gun in the bed with you? It ain't $1,000.
Now, yeah, I got you. I do agree with Vic because he's like, no, I want 2,000. You know, that the 52,000 a year is just not, going to work. So I, but you said 5 times that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know if it should have been 2, 3 times, 10 times. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know. But when that scene came up, man, I was really, really curious on, I was like, okay, what is a good, respectable salary, that Vic could get here? You know what I'm saying? And so, but overall, man, I liked the episode too. I did. Also the way that Vic would handle himself in front of the crazy lady. She's Sophia. I'm sorry, her name slipped me, and I like her too. In this whole relationship that she's building with the penguin right now, I wonder if it's a good partnership, man, or he's trying to get over on her, man. Where are you at on that, and where do you think the relationship is going to end up? Because also they did leave her at the end of the episode. He bailed on her without making sure she was okay. But how you feeling about all that?
He's trying to get over on her, man. We got a lot of their backstory and how he threw her under the bus. That's part of the way she got in Arkham Asylum in the first place. And throughout this episode, they really made it seem like seeing them two together would be a fun story. Mm-hmm. And so when what they did at the very end, I actually was hurt by that because I was liking them portraying the two coming together. They both have a common enemy in Luca and Johnny. They both have common enemies in the competition of everybody putting drugs on the street. And now they kind of seem like they have positioned themselves with the new product, Bliss, title of the episode, to be able to take over the city. And they basically apologize to each other. And when that happened, I thought to myself, maybe he's going to sway from wanting to be the boss. Maybe she's going to sway from wanting to refer to him as her driver and let bygones be bygones and say that we need each other. But B. Avery, something happened in this episode that me and you predicted last episode about who Sophie would get and hurt that would really hurt Oz. And she laid her eyes on that woman in this episode.
Who was that? Help me out.
The madam, Oz's madam that runs the girls in the club that they was distributing Bliss. Sophie finally seen her. She saw Oz give her a little smooch, and she saw the way Oz looked at her as she walked away. If you kind of notice what Sophie was doing, she was examining that situation. And I think that that's going to be the one of the two who's going to wind up kicking the bucket this season. Because Sophie is not going to be happy that Oz left her ass right there high and dry with the Maroni.
Right. And I do like hold on, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's
the Maronis?
No, not the Maroni, the people that showed up at the end. I know. I'm talking about, you said in the club, the one that's going to kick the bucket. Yeah. Who?
Oh, I don't know her name, but the madam that was in Oz's house last episode that brought the girls there, and one of the girls takes a liking to Vic.
Okay. I was thinking that it was somebody in this episode. Okay. Yeah.
No, she was in this episode. She was in this episode.
Man,
remember, she gave Oz a kiss when they was meeting with the plugs. They wanted to resell the Bliss for them.
Right.
Sophie and Oz was in the club, and you remember Oz got the girls to go and sell the drugs.
Right.
While Vic
was the bag man. Vic was the bag man.
Yeah, he was the bag man.
He started hallucinating and dropped the drugs, and old girl wanted to dance, and he was like, "Hey, I got to get back to work and all that." Yeah, and they had the meeting with the Triad guy.
Right. The lady who is the leader of those women, that's Oz's kind of sweet thing a little bit.
The one that had to get the one that had to get the alibi from in the yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Sophie seen Oz and her kiss and embrace each other as she walked away. Sophie was looking.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, man. She may most likely she will kick the bucket. You know what I'm saying? I don't you know, I mean, do you care about her at all? I really don't.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Okay. I mean, my eyes get dry and I need them to water. And every time that happens, they water a little bit. So yeah, I care. I care.
What you think about what do you think about this drug Bliss, man? You know, when at the beginning, when Vic was gonna drive him, Sophie was like, "Hey, you know, no, it's gonna be a long night, Vic." And that's when he, you know, invited his girl over, and he's like, "Hey, we're just gonna go drop some stuff off or pick something up." Yeah, something like that. She takes him to the lab, to the basement, and they got the mushrooms everywhere. Lamont, I'm sorry, but mushrooms are disgusting to me. I hate the sight of them. They make my skin crawl, man. When I was little, when I would see them outside growing in grass, it would just, it just gave me the EBGB. So this one here was it was bad for me watching this. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Does that also mean you have a problem watching the Mario Brothers and all the mushrooms that pop up on the Mario Brothers?
I can do that for some reason. That doesn't really bother me.
Okay.
That doesn't really bother me. But these mushrooms, I was just like, yuck. But yeah, man. What do you think about this Bliss, man? It's the new drug in town, man. It was funny. I was like, hey, I know you've been gone for a while, but you know, people can get this at any high school, you know, in 5 minutes. But you know, it does look interesting, man. You think, you know, how you feeling about Bliss so far?
Very creative writing. Like I said, if you're going to come to this channel and think you're going to get a lot of bad critiques from me, I don't have a lot of bad to say. I think it's very, very brilliant writing. And it's not that the mushrooms are the drug they're using. The fungus itself sets the atmosphere for the bliss that they are growing on the mushroom. I was like, whoa. And then they gave us the backstory of what made Sophie come up with the idea to use this drug, because they was intoxicating people in Arkham so that they could have a blissful time, not remember anything, and lower their inhibitions, which means how do we not know that Dr. Feelgood laced some bliss to Sophie? She said they was doing it. I'm assuming he's an Arkham doctor.
Yeah.
So I'm sure. But here's the other thing that I think was an Easter egg from this whole Bliss thing, B. Avery, while we on the point. I think that this is a setup, if they decide to run this limited series for more seasons, that the way they're doing their drugs and where it came from is a setup for 2 other villains, B. Avery. Who do you think those 2 other villains could be?
Hear me out. I'm curious what you're going to say, though.
So in the Batman universe, you have one person who's obsessed with plant life, and she's a botanist.
Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. Easily can see that. And then you have another person who loves to use hallucinogens to make people laugh, to make people feel like they're having fun. Who might that person be, B. Avery?
Either the Joker or the Scarecrow.
Most likely the Joker.
Yeah.
And the third person, you just said it, the Scarecrow. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are your Easter eggs based on what just happened right here with this mushroom situation, the Red Bliss. You heard it right here on BA's channel first and foremost.
There you go. Definitely want to talk to you about the triads, but I'm upset that what am I talking about? That Vic gave that money away. First of all, he didn't give the cop the whole $1,000 because he gave his girl some too. Stay somewhere nice, give me a bus ticket too. I'm coming, babe. I'm coming for you. But he let the cop take his money because he was like, hey, I'd rather lose a few $100s than you take the whole bag that they left for the passenger seat, I kind of wish he would have fought a little harder on that, man, to keep his bread, but he sacrificed it, man.
No,
you agree or disagree?
No, I completely agree with the move he did, because if the cop would have decided to look in that car and see all them drugs, it would have been the end of Vic. It would have put Penguin in a bad situation. Sophie would have been in a bad situation. He sacrificed that $1,000 knowing that another 1,000 is going to come next week as long as I can take care of the product. So I don't like that he gave the crooked cop the money. If anything, I wish he would have said, look, there's more where this came from if you decide to work with. Use the cop the way the cop think he's using you. Well,
that's quite bold right there.
The cop already showed you he can be bought. He took your money.
I understand, but the cop knows that. But the cops didn't suspect per se that there was drugs in the car, because if he does find the drugs, he knows that that's not the only amount they have. There's a supplier coming from somewhere. So he can turn on them at any time, milk them for 1 month, 6 months, 9 months, and then, okay, I'm done. Hey, these guys over here are moving weight. So, man, I definitely don't. The only way that's an option to me is if the cop found the drugs. And it's like, hey, okay, you can try to take us to jail. We can kill you, or we can work together. Something like that.
These drug organizations, the only way that they are able to thrive the way they thrive is that they have people in the FBI and law enforcement bought. Remember,
I agree.
Very first episode, Sophie, dad had a detective working for him that she was able to then go back, rehire, who went and found the body, her brother's body, the person that was in the Maroney's family for her. So I think Vic should have went on ahead and took advantage of that, because the cop is obviously crooked. A good cop would have took him to jail for saying, take this money.
Man, you have a point. You have a point. You have a point. Sucks. I just wish that,
crooked ass.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate. I was going to say something else about it, but it slipped my mind. If I remember, I'll come back to it. I do have another question for you, though. When Sophia and Penguin showed up at the Triad spot, they checked for guns, pulled up on, pointed theirs at them. Guy came down, hey, Oz, I told you, don't come back until you have my money. I gave you a whole truck of cigarettes. Where is my cut? I'm like, what could this cut be? I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I'm like on a whole truck. Okay, maybe it's a whole 18-wheeler worth of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? How much money would that be? I have no idea. $100,000? I don't know. Where if you had to guess, or if you know, how much money are we talking there?
Well, I doubt it was an 18-wheeler. I'm thinking it might be something more like a short box truck.
Okay.
And no doubt people come from New York to North Carolina to buy cigarettes, to take them back up to New York and sell them as loosies illegally, because you're not supposed to do that in New York. Technically, you're not supposed to bring cigarettes in bulk back from North Carolina, but they don't enforce it that bad because it's a white. Okay, I'm set up. Depending upon the size of that truck, it could have been $500,000 worth of cigarettes in that truck.
Okay.
If he sold them as loosies, if he ain't selling them as loosies, $250,000. If he's selling them by the carton, but it was some money tied up in that truck.
Already? Okay, I was just curious, man. Things that came to my mind when I was watching the episode. But what you think about the character, man? I liked him. He was standing on ground, standing on business, like, yeah, this sounds good and all, but you full of crap, Oz. I can't trust you. I want a phone call from Johnny Viti. And, you know, they was freestyling that whole little meeting. Sophia was like, what the hell did this dude just say? My uncle, you know, Johnny Viti or whatever, you know, because he was smashing Luca's wife. I liked it. I liked it. They played it well. You know, they thought on their toes. But again, I like the Triad guy. Do you like him? How you feeling about his character? And how he gonna, you know, be floating around this season? Or he may not do nothing.
I need to get the norm.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to get the norm. Are you talking about Link or are you talking about Link's boss?
Actually, both of them. Because the boss is the boss is the club at the end.
You know, the boss of the club. Yeah,
and then the middle guy.
Link, I can do without him. Like, dude, you typical cornball that want to be the boss. So really? Now that you feel like you got a little position of power, itty bitty position, you want the rack shop. I could do without him. Like, come on, man. See the forest from the trees. This man is offering a grand deal to make money, and you putting him through the ringer in order for something to be a blessing for you. So I can just do without him. But the main boss, I want to see what they do with him, because Sophia's dialogue about not liking her daddy, about when the dad died, she was dancing on the grave.
Yeah.
Sophia and those picket fences she called teeth in her mouth.
Right.
That had me laughing. And because the dad kicked him out of a territory. So, and even having said all that, she still couldn't close the deal with him. It took Oz coming in there basically saying, with this drug, you see what the people is doing tonight. We have been able to take this drug, charge $20, and the demand is so high, we've been able to upsell it to $60 a vial in the same. And when he got to talking that sweet chin music, hey, my Korean brother started saying, hey, we want in on this before the other boroughs get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's funny how you so dismissive about Mr. Middleman there, but I don't know, man. He kind of, I was like, this kind of cool. You know, he's not stupid and just jumping on an opportunity to make money. He's like, yeah, we're gonna tread softly, you know. But I am interested in the big boss as well. That was at the club. You know, while Sophia was dancing on the grave, you know, he was popping champagne bottles. Like, yes. That mother effer is gone. He is dead. And so, you know, I like that right there. But
how did you like?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
How did you like the way they put together that intricate plot to set up Johnny Viti by meeting Luca's wife at the restaurant and basically telling her, "Look, we gonna tell Luca unless you go handle this business for us."
Lamont, that's exactly where I was heading next. But I loved it. It was, you know, Penguin has his trump cards in that back pocket. He has that Uno, draw four, reverse, double reverse, skip, all of that, man. And he played it well. I don't understand what Tina got out of it. Maybe you can help me understand that, because, you know, she's the one that assisted with the access. You know, I guess maybe they cut up some paper or something, but you know.
Tina got anonymity. Tina got that we're not going to tell Luca that you screwing Johnny Viti. That's what Tina got out of it.
That doesn't make any sense.
And I'm sure Sophie might send her a couple of diamonds or something too, but yeah. Tina got out of it that nobody's going to rat on her having this inbred relationship with Johnny behind Luca's back.
No. But before they walked into the room, the Penguin went up to him and was like, "Hey, I need a favor. It's gonna sting."
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, I just answered I'm not thinking clearly, because he already had the pictures in the previous episode, so he could have just put them there on the table. So excuse me, guys, my bad. But I love it though, man. I thought the Penguin was gonna kill him though. When he shoving the phone down the store, I was like, oh, Penguin is a sensitive man here. You're gonna make another mistake. You killed Alberto first, and now you walking around with your head on the swivel. Sophia about to chop your head off at the first wrong move you make, and you finna kill this dude too? I'm glad he didn't kill him, Lamont. How you feeling about that?
Bro, I was worried because Johnny did his job. Johnny found an emotional string to pull to separate Sophie and Oz, but Sophie didn't fall for it, and Oz, unfortunately, almost fell for it because when he was recanting how it was Oz's fault what happened to Sophie, and now people look at her like she is the female scarecrow with those picket fences teeth she's got, that was all because of Oz rat. And Oz wanted him to shut up. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, if you kill him, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get this plan to work? You don't have no other cards to play. He's the perfect card. Don't kill him, torture him a little bit.
Right.
And I think he realized that and decided, look, I got one up on you. I can whip your cheating on your cousin blankety blank tomorrow. We're going to keep you in our back pocket for further. Because I can tell you right now, fans and B. Avery, they are not done using Johnny or Luca's wife. They're not done.
No. Out of all the people you can smash, you want to smash her. It's just, I don't.
Brother, I hate to break it down, but sometimes it comes down to it's not about that. It's about proximity to the pussy. I mean, to the stuff.
Yeah, you good, man. You good, man. What you think about Vic going crazy at the club though, man? Like he's having PTSD. It's not fun. I'm not trying to make light of it. It's serious. I mean, he witnessed a tragedy. But that he got that's how you feeling about that?
I thought it was real.
Yeah,
I did too. I thought it was real, and I also feel like me and you discussed this last week too. That particular girl, remember I was saying I think she has deeper feelings for him, and you kind of was on the fence about that.
Yeah,
I think she proved to you on this episode she's got a little bit more deeper feelings for him. And now where his other girl done got on the trailways and left, this girl's probably going to fill in, but she's dangerous, because she does those drugs too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Were you happy or disappointed about Vic's decision? You feel he should have got on the bus and walked away and started a family maybe with old chick and live happily ever after, or, got this $52,000 a year and starting salary with the Penguin?
Because I understand that the nature of this story, I honestly can sit here and tell you I never thought he was going to leave. I never thought he was going to leave. Mm-hmm. I wish he would have. If this was real life, yes, go, dude. Run from this. But because 3 episodes into this thing, every episode we have gotten Emmy quality speeches from Colin Farrell's Oz. This man has given that boy speeches about the way capitalism works and how it don't work for the poor and the middle class. And that speech Oz gave him in the bathroom about really and truly not holding him hostage, and him basically, you got to take what's yours. And considering that they gave us the history of his dad, who really was a mechanic, but also had this love of cooking, but would continuously work these overtime hours and not getting paid what he's worth.
Right.
I knew Vic was not going to leave. I knew he wasn't going to leave.
Yeah.
I hate that he didn't. But then also the girl helping him in the club before he went to his old girlfriend was kind of like a transition from the old life to the new life. So yeah, I didn't think he was going to leave, but I feel bad. I would have liked to have seen him go with the old girl. But then what kind of life would he have?
Right.
It's like this, B. Avery. Think about it like this. Your choice is you can live a life where you're making unbelievable money. You still got girls, but you got to sleep with one eye open and a gun to your back. Or you can go over here with your high school sweetheart and be poor.
I'm going to choose the latter choice B, but, they don't have to be poor. Who knows what they can build over there together. But I'm going to choose my high school sweetheart. That's what I'm choosing. About that in the bathroom, I did not like the way the Penguin was talking to him. putting the gun up to his head. This is how it feels. You could have left a long time ago. You know, the comments about his dad, even though it were kind of correct, I still just didn't like them. They were disrespectful. But I did like the fact that Vic was like, my dad would think I'm a disgrace. You know, you know, and he knew he had to study. Get it out. It's everything. It's not just a girl. It's everything. You know. And so what was he supposed to think? You was about to kill him in the beginning, throw him in the trunk with Alberto. So of course he felt like he was a hostage. You know, so Penguin acting brand new right there. You know, he in his feelings. I know with the way this episode ended, they need to be recovered somewhere. Penguin need to be saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. You were promoted.
Definitely.
You here is I'm doubling, tripling your salary. You know what I'm saying?
$5K a week.
There you
getting that $5K a week, baby.
There you go. So that'll work. That's over a $250,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, Penguin, you need to back up, man. Dial it back. You know, to hit him in the throat, Vic, something. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
But, you know, Penguin has done something similar to Vic every episode thus far. You got this episode, the grave digging site last episode, and then the very first episode when they met, he kind of roughed them up. And it did feel like it was a hostage situation, whether Penguin want to admit it or not. It did feel like he yoked them up and said, I'm gonna let you live because you try to steal my rim. So he can say that all he wants. And I agree with you, B, about Vic saying that his dad would be disgraced because Daddy told him where they come from, the way that they was living at that moment was way better to them than whatever they came from. So Daddy and Mama had been used to some form of poverty that was worse than the way Dad was living as a mechanic, doing a lot of overtime work for free.
Yeah.
And I guess because he had been through that journey, he could appreciate where they was at and he was comfortable. But the kids, on the other hand, they weren't comfortable with none of it. They wanted.
Right on, man. What did I leave out, man? What important plot points, character arcs, moments in this episode that are just still standing out to you that we haven't gone over yet? You know, Oz did reveal towards the end, you know, about how he treated Sophie. But go ahead. I asked you a question and didn't give you a chance to answer it.
The one thing that we didn't talk about that I thought was interesting. Can y'all feel this man's excitement? He might not be on the fence with me by saying so far this is the best TV show of the year. This is going to definitely get an Emmy, the same way Shogun cleared Emmys.
Man,
I'm here to tell y'all that. But we didn't talk about how Sophie goes back to the house. Johnny Viti has got the Secret Service, the CIA, and everybody beefed up at the damn crib, right?
Forgot about that.
He gets into a spat with Sophie and says, look, I want you to take this foreign airplane ticket, get your ass over to Italy, and if you don't, he didn't say I'm going to kill you, but he did say I'm going to make it seem like you in Italy, meaning that you ain't going to be there. You're going to be 6 feet under pushing daisies, let me talk like the Italians, and I'm going to tell people you in Italy. I was like, dude, you know this chick crazy? Like, bruh.
True, but I said that myself, like, ooh, I mean, she could just, you know, flip out a blade and go, shush. Or I don't know how she kills the victims, but I was thinking like, okay, you may want to dial it back. But apparently I guess he was ready for it. He just didn't give a damn because that's how he was talking. Yeah. So I was nervous that she was going to execute him. But I was like, hey, man, he feels pretty strong about his abilities to endure her or this whole little situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, she caught him, you know, later on in the episode. But right there, I was like, all right, maybe he can, his bite is as big as his bark. You know, I don't know. I was convinced. You know, it was like an immovable force against an unstoppable object type. Well, maybe not to that degree, but you know, I'll land my plane there. But it was a good scene. It was a good scene. It was a good scene. It was a good scene.
And to piggyback what you just said, the scene at the very end, close to the end, with Oz and Sophie basically apologizing to each other. and she offering to share her cigarette with him. That means something. And he had done closed the deal. They had done apologized to each other. She's offering cigarettes. B. Avery, I do think in that moment she wanted the F. I do.
I would not go that far.
Okay.
Well, yeah, maybe if she was. I don't know.
She was drunk in love of the deal. She was drunk in love of the deal. Did you catch how even she didn't tell her brother Alberto about the whole entire operation? Because when they brought Oz up, Oz was going by what Alberto said, and she was like, she laughed like, I ain't tell him everything. I thought that was very telling of Sophia.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want them to stab each other in the back.
Too late.
I don't want that, especially with the way that they did had a heart to heart, but Oz left her there in the street. So he said, man, screw her, let's go.
Bruh.
That's not
talk about a one night stand.
Man, hold up. Man, that's we're gonna see how that plays out at the beginning of next episode. But ladies and gentlemen, go ahead.
I think Oz is gonna, because obviously the Maronis is gonna capture her. I don't think they're definitely not gonna kill her. They're gonna capture her. And I think Oz, now that he's got Johnny in his back pocket, he's gonna use this to play Luca in an effort to get her back. And we're just gonna have to see how she behaves once they're able to get her back from the family, the Maroni family. So, wow. Look out.
Look out, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to wrap it up for our Penguin DC on Max. It is episode 3 titled Bliss. Has so much fun. No matter what, if it's spoilers or not, let us know your thoughts down below in that comment section. We will be here same time, same place next week for episode 4 as well. But I want to thank my guest, Lamont. Thank you so much for being here, my guy. And why don't you let the good people know what you have going on your lovely channel?
I've got Penguin. I've got interviews with celebrities, folks from Hollywood, little bit of politics we're doing on the channel. And right now, if you guys love what me and B. Avery do, I think you would love what I'm doing as a screenwriter. And I'm raising money for my first film. Link is in the video description. Title of the film is G-Force. Imagine if an African American who was in a deep battle with oppression by MAGA infiltrated government somehow or another got the power to control gravity, and what he could do with that power to help stop the suppression and oppression of marginalized groups. Well, if you want to see that happen, go make a donation. $1 works. If you do anything north of 500, I will send you the pitch deck so you can have a look. If you do anything north of 1,000, you will get some one-on-one time with some of the actors I'm thinking about bringing on.
That is wonderful, my guy. That's what's up. I definitely want to hear more about that and these powers and how he gonna use them. So that's what's up. But thank you for that, Lamont. Thank you for being here. Again, guys, his information is in the description box of this video. Also, guys, if you are interested in anything I have going on my channel right now, of course, I'm covering the Penguin, but I'm also covering Fight Night. That is on Peacock. Has nothing to do with comic book material, superhero stuff like the Penguin, but it's still a great show. And also, guys, I have a super duper show on my channel where we talk nothing but superhero and comic book news. So yes, we talk about the Batman, we talk about the Penguin, we talk Marvel, we talk DC, we talk it all. And me and my guy Lamont right here are about to actually record another episode of Super Duper. And so if you are into that type of stuff, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can have a good time with us, while we're talking all this superhero and comic book news. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to wrap it up for us today. And like I said, we'll see you same time, same place next week. But before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.